Pizza.
No.
Pizza. Anyway, you ever feel you just got to have a summer brew every now and then? Don't you feel that way?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And
And
how many summer beers do you have in your refrigerator?
I have two types of beers right now because I left some beers down at my brother's, which were the Heineken. There's a story behind my Heineken. I have Corona.
Yeah, yep, got that. I got Corona Light, So.
And then I have another beer that is from a local brewery. It is. Let me pull it up here. It is the Lycum Brewing. So I have this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this one is a cool one. So this one's a Rhinestone Eyes Outbite. So it's a little bit more reddish, if you will, but it's got some really good flavor in there. Great beers. Can't help but like them because the name of the brewery is Lycum Brewing. Like them, so it can't help but like.
Is it kind of like the way you drink?
Yeah, kind of like.
We should get them on the podcast. They are named right.
I think I'm going to be running there in the next month or so because this is part of my my brewery running series. So I have my brewery running series glass. It says Oregon. There's a Washington. There's across the U.S. It says brewery running series, and it says be active, have fun, and give back. So all the runs will always give back to a local charity.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to pull out my my brew running series glass because beer.
Oh, I didn't bring a glass in. I guess I'm gonna have to drink out of the bottle. I didn't bring a glass in today. Damn it.
Well, I figured I was going to drink out of the bottle. However, because I thought I may or may not decide to make a michelada as we go through, that's why I have the glass. So not specifically for the beer, but for the michelada if I go that direction. My pizza, it's a broccoli crust pizza. It's Mediterranean style. I forgot.
Yeah. So, what toppings do you have on that with the Mediterranean style?
So this one has, let me look. It's broccoli and cheddar crust, and the toppings. It's tomato sauce, spinach, bell peppers, red onions, garlic, feta, and mozzarella cheese. What I was gonna do is I was gonna add salami to it, but I forgot. So I'm like, well, I was gonna try to run out and get it. I said, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll just have the vegetarian and it's perfectly fine. And then, of course, I made a cute little salad to go with it because you need some crunchies in there.
I should have made a salad. Darn it. I didn't. So.
And it's very basic. It is just lettuce, iceberg lettuce, tomato, and cucumber. And then, of course, I did some dill because I love dill. And then I made homemade ranch, from the Hidden Valley, make your own from home. So you get to make it and you know exactly what's in it. You get to use your own mayo and your own milk. So that's kind of my little salad because I thought I need a little crunch of some sort. So today it's this is gluten-free.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that was kind of nice.
Finding a gluten-free pizza in the store. You ever notice that most of the time you're either going to have to find a non-commercial, non-big name brand, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going to find something that you're like, all right, this tastes like cardboard. Let me put
Yeah. So Open Nature, they also have cauliflower. And I got introduced to broccoli crust by one of my friends from the gym for like 10 months. I think it was a 2018. I think it was. We were going to each other's homes. So it was like 6 of us, 7 of us, sometimes 8. We'd go to one of our homes and then we would host and we would help each other either cook or bring in different things. But we learned how to make broccoli crust pizza and it was absolutely delicious. But there is a particular one that was launched in 2018 in the stores, and then Trader Joe's also started theirs in 2017. So Trader Joe's, I believe, started with cauliflower, and then they moved on to the broccoli. And then there was another one that was that they're talking about gluten-free, MSG-free, trans fat. Retailed for about $9 for a 14 ounce pizza. And then they wanted to send it off to Albertsons, Safeway, Sprouts, your Kroger's, if you will. And it was spinatos. So they wanted something that they wanted people to be excited for, and because broccoli is a well-liked vegetable, they figured it would be
well, it's got to be better liked than cauliflower, because you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I did do cauliflower. It's also gluten-free. That launched in Trader Joe's in 2017, and then they moved into the broccoli one. So this is fitting. So we'll see if I still have more. And
so I went with, I believe mine is a Little Baron's pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, this is when it comes to store-bought pizzas, I'm very particular because I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not really into the everything pizza. The big veggie pizza. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that it just doesn't register with me. I do love a plain cheese pizza, guys. It's one of my biggest things. Plain cheese or a margarita pizza. All right, I'm in heaven. But the one that, I can never find it in the stores. I love getting it for like Papa John's or Domino's, Pizza Hut, and then a lot of your independent pizza places is a mushroom pizza, right?
Oh,
yeah. Mushroom, red sauce. My daughter and son had a pizza here a couple weeks ago that they got was a white sauce pizza. It tastes all right, just not for me. All right, it didn't. I like a red sauce. I really want to, over the years I perfected my ribs, as most people know. I've perfected my barbecue sauce. I want to perfect a good red sauce and a good pizza dough of my own.
So
I want to get my pizza oven. So anyway.
Oh, nice.
So mine's like Tony's pepperoni, right? Which covers the basics. Probably the most popular pizza is pepperoni.
Yeah.
I will say this. There's one thing that I'd like to add to my pepperoni pizza, but I didn't because I know people get offended by it, and that is pineapple. I'm a pineapple and pepperoni guy. I love pineapple on pizza, and I get that was one of my questions when I was doing my podcast. Pineapple, does it belong on pizza? Yes or no? And that is the one thing people have. I don't like that type deal. But to me, I cooked this and I haven't cut it. This is a stone we have. This stone here was my Christmas present, and we take the stone and we've done them on the grill.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so I'm heating my grill up to about 400 and put a pizza on it on the grill. It's just I have a problem of putting on the grill and then thinking I can pick it up. You can't.
No.
Do not do that. So anyway,
very hot.
But yeah, we standard in our house. We have a standard pizza cutter.
Okay, I have.
What do you have for your To me, gotta have a pizza cutter in your house. Yeah. It's like one of the most important knives. And my pizza's I cooked it on the rack, so open flame, not on the stone. Okay. It's a little crispier. That's one of the things I do like on mine.
I do like crispy, yes. I used to buy my pizza dough from Wild Tree. They're direct marketing, if you will. I found that Safeway would have actually it wasn't Safeway, it was Kroger. Kroger would have the dough, the pizza dough. And so I would buy it there. But one of my favorite pizza doughs is from Bellagio's Pizza. I'd spend, what was it, like, I don't know, $4 or $5 for it. And then they'd flour it and I'd bring it home and I'd make I do the thing. The nice thing about Bellagio's is that some of the crusts, you have to cook them before you put the toppings. And with Bellagio's, didn't have to do that. I could just put my toppings, which usually consisted of my pizza sauce, a Genoa salami, mushrooms, and tomatoes. Now, tomatoes was a hit and miss. It just depended because sometimes I wanted tomatoes, sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I would add the tomatoes after the fact because sometimes with tomatoes, they'll get a little watery. But definitely my Genoa salami and mushrooms were my two go-tos. Throw it in the oven and it would just cook beautifully. So I do like to make my own pizza. And then, of course, I got the recipe for the broccoli crust, which I couldn't find, and I know I have it in my email. So I found another, another recipe online that I went, okay, this one sounds okay. And it's from Hungry Happens. And I thought that I love the name. So Hungry Happens, thank you very much for the broccoli crust pizza, low carb, gluten free. It's the broccoli crowns, eggs, shredded mozzarella, Parmesan cheese, garlic, fresh parsley, onion powder, dried oregano, salt, black pepper to taste. And that's just the crust. Then the toppings, the way that they made it was with mozzarella, pepperoni slices, and grated Parmesan. And then you garnish with chili flakes, parsley, and marinara for dipping. But it's all about utilizing your oven, the parchment paper. You want to make sure that your broccoli is steamed whole for about 8 minutes until it's fork tender. Then you transfer it, you remove the stems, and then you chop the florets very thin. You transfer the cheesecloth or thin to get all the, wring it all out. You want the liquids. You want it as dry as possible. Then you're going to combine the broccoli florets, the egg, the mozzarella, the Parmesan, the garlic, the parsley, the onion powder, oregano, salt, and pepper. Then you throw it onto the baking sheet after you've mixed it and flattened it, spread it out, pack it together, form into the oval shape, and you cook it for about 25 minutes until golden brown. Then you can put your toppings on it.
Okay.
So very easy to make. It really is. And it's, like I said,
it doesn't sound easy to me, but that's, I guess you and I's terms of easier to me is take out a packet, put in oven. But
which I did do today. So, and then I decided to go with Corona.
Well, no, I also have, because we talked to summer ales. I have this one here. This brand of beer has quite a bit of good summery.
Oh yeah. Yes,
this is a Berry Wise, but they have a summer shanty. Right. Berry Wise is just the one I have, and I'm trying to think if they're twist off or not. They are.
Yeah.
Those are twist off.
So just as a reminder, if you are putting lime now, the interesting thing is if you get a Corona in Mexico, they will not give you a lime. Don't be offended. But because I don't have a thick enough thumb, what I do once I've put it into the bottle, my hands are clean. I'll just do this and then very slowly turn it around, get that lime all the way to the top, let it sit for just a few seconds. And then when you turn it around, you got to do it nice and slow because otherwise it will do this and you'll make a mess and you don't want that.
Yeah, it does. It does tend, I just spritzed the corner of my screen.
Yeah.
Because it got a little loose.
You can kind of hear it, and so you can see that it does do it.
And it comes right back up.
Yep.
But you've now put all the lime flavor through it. Yep. To me, and it is an American thing, I can't have a Corona without a lime.
Yeah, and that's okay. So the history behind Corona, there is history. So in case y'all didn't know, there's a lot of information that no lime in Mexico is one of the things, but it was Corona Extra was first brewed in 1927 by Grupo Modelo, the makers of Modelo. Corona Extra was first founded in 1925 in Mexico City, and then it was brewed in 1927. And then it wasn't until 1933 that Corona Extra was exported to the U.S. Lime, again, rarely used in Mexico, and it's mainly a U.S. thing. So don't expect to get it. If you ask for it, they'll give it to you, and they'll look at you kind of weird. Corona means crown, in case you didn't know that. And the coronita, or the little crown, so it does have a crown there. The animals that are here are griffins.
Yeah.
And so those are your little griffins, and they make great micheladas. So micheladas is just the thing you drink, especially for breakfast. It's like a Bloody Mary, and it's not it's with the tomato juice. It could be a Bloody Mary mix. It could be the tomato juice, or it can be the clamato. Then, of course, you would use Worcestershire sauce. In Mexico, they will use Maggi here, Maggi. So instead of soy sauce, they use this. That gives it the salt. Of course, there's going to be lime juice in there. There's going to be hot sauce. If you are using a spicy Bloody Mary mix, then you don't need any more hot sauce. Ground pepper, if you like, some ice. And traditionally, it will be not only a lime wedge on the edge of the of the glass, but it'll also have a shrimp. And usually they will lime it and put tahini or some kind of chili salt or just salt on the rim of the glass. It is one of the best-selling beers in the world. And both Corona Extra and Corona Light are both pale lagers with 4.5% alcohol by volume. Only Corona Extra does have a little bit more flavor. Constellation brand does own the Corona beer here in the U.S. They also own Pacifico and Modelo and Svedka, which is a Swedish whiskey. But the company that brews the beer in Mexico, Grupo Modelo, is owned by none other than Anheuser-Busch a beverage. So that's some of the information from Corona. And so Corona was first brewed 2733, came to the U.S. And in 1976, there was a lot of resistance with the Mexican beer. In 1988, it became the best-selling imported beer in the U.S. 1990, Corona became Mexico's largest best-selling beer. And 2013 is when Anheuser-Busch and Grupo Modelo merged and Constellation Brands acquired the U.S. rights. So that is a little bit of the history. But Cervecería Modelo originated back to 1877. And then it wasn't until 1922 that a German brewmaster joined Corona or joined Modelo, which then brought forth Corona. So there's a lot of history there that I thought was pretty cool. And it's I believe it was Corona, because Modelo's been number one for the longest time, and Corona just surpassed a domestic beer. I forgot if it was, but one of the Budweisers or such. Corona surpassed them as the number 2 most best-selling. So I have to look that one up.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this in our podcast. I'm nothing against you if your drink is Budweiser or Bud Light. I don't really think we're ever going to have that on our podcast. I just don't. I have not had a Budweiser, a Bud Light, a Bud Free, a Bud, whatever they are. I've never had anything in the Budweiser line in probably 15 years. It became almost like drinking Jim Beam. You know what I mean? It's just, yes, it's got taste to it. Yes, it is good. It is a quality product, but I want something that's got more of a robustness in its taste. I think that's the word I want, robust. You know what I mean? It's a 1-2 punch in flavor. You know, they have the flavor in there, but the flavor just doesn't give you a pow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of the beers, Corona is still giving you that pow.
So if you're doing porters and stouts, those richer beers, you want a meaty pizza. You want pepperoni, meat lovers, something that has those sausages in there, something spicy. That would be great. If you have an IPA, that's another one with meat pizza, because it's going to balance out. It could be a meat lovers. It could be one that has all the veggies and the meats and all just piled on. If you're doing a pale ale or a pilsner, then you can do like a chicken pizza or a veggie pizza. So it's a little bit lighter. So just like you can pair your wine or your whiskeys, you can also pair your beer. So it is just one of those things that it's truly, what do you enjoy? What do you like? Because pizza has been around for a long time. Beer has been around. There's a whole history. I love watching the foods that made America. There's so much history that I absolutely love it. But
I will tell you this berry goes very well with pizza.
Oh.
My pizza, anyway. I don't know about your pizza, but my pizza, it goes well with.
This one, because of the onions, there's a certain sweetness to it. Because of the feta, it gives that saltiness. I'm not missing the pepperoni, and I love my pepperoni pizza. I love my meat lovers.
I'm just curious to our listeners today, whether you're watching the live or you're watching this on replay, put in the comments today. All right, what do you have on your pizza? What's allowed? What is not allowed on your pizza?
Right.
This is one thing I've learned is Not everybody's pizza flavor is the same. Even in
Right.
our house, there, you know what I mean? I could say we're ordering pizza and I've got to order 4 different pizzas. We all like something different.
Mm-hmm.
I must say that, and there's only 3 of us. We have to order 4 different pizzas.
You can't do half and half?
I do a lot of half and halves. I hardly ever get a full pizza. Like I think yesterday we did. We got a full pepperoni and a full everything pizza.
Okay.
No.
What did I do with my fork? I lost my fork. Give me a second.
And I think it's because yesterday afternoon, Gwen basically said, go get that pizza in the freezer. I'm like, that pizza in the freezer I was saving that for Monday night for the podcast.
Yeah.
So we had to order a pizza.
Well, pizza's been around for a long time. They were consumed in Egypt, in Greece, and Italy. But truly, the more modern pizza was developed in Naples, Italy in the 18th century. And it was truly for the poor man, the poor worker. Something easy to go. And so oh my goodness. Pepper. I put ground pepper on my.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I like the pepper flakes. I usually love it. I don't have it on today's, but that makes a pizza anyway. So yeah, in Italy, it was like the American sub or the American hamburger sandwich over there.
Yeah. And so it was just something simple and sold it by street vendors that would slice it up to fit people's budget and their appetite. Most people didn't want a whole pizza, but yeah. Oh yeah.
What's allowed on my pizza? Cheese sauce, pepperoni, black olives, onion, green pepper, sausage crumbles, bacon, cheese, and more cheese. Wait a minute. I got to put this one in. Unless it's Hawaiian, then it's ham and pineapple, baby.
Right. Love it. I used to love the pizza port at Disneyland, where it was the barbecue with the chicken and the cilantro and the purple onion. Mm-hmm. One slice of that was like the best thing to have, for dinner. I remember way back when. But the original budget friendly in Italy was salt, lard, basil, cheese, and tomatoes. That's what it has. So it was a veggie, but not, lard. But then as Italians started to move, then because of the low price, it, started to spread around the world. And it wasn't until 1889 when Italian unification occurred with Umberto I and Queen Marguerite that she had gotten tired of the French fare and said, hey, Mr. Chef, I want something local. Yeah. So he made her 3 pizzas. One was essentially a cheese, lard, and basil. The other one was a white bait, which I couldn't figure out exactly what it was. It just sounded fishy to me. And then the third, which is what she liked the most, was mozzarella, basil, tomatoes. She loved it so much, she named it after herself. So now you know that when you have a margarita pizza, it was named after Queen Margarita, and she named it after herself. But she's the one that got the world to say, oh, pizza? It's not for just the low life. And it got elevated. So really, truly, she put the pizza on the map. Mm-hmm. And it has, in 1934, it was when it became even more popular, post-war pizza. It became a truly Italian food, and it really started to spread a little bit more. But the first dedicated pizzeria was in New York, of course, in 1905. And then, of course, as the Italians migrated, it moved to Chicago. And so now you have the Chicago deep dish, the Rocky Mountain pie, the Hawaiian, then grew in popularity. And then, of course, in 1950s is when it became more of a staple. And when foods really started to change, freezers, frozen pizzas, you were able to buy it at cheaper prices. And so that's when it really started to take off. Now it's so popular. I mean, people, like you said, Papa John's, you can go get it and get it ready and then throw it in your oven. You have it fresh. You can get frozen. You can make your own. So
Yeah,
it's
to me, it's make your own. To me, of the three biggest chains out there that are chains, which are Papa John's, Pizza Hut, and Domino's. There are other ones. Those are just the three majors. And I get it. In your part of the world, another one may be more major than that. Either one of those three, but those are the three you can find nationwide. I used to love Papa John's. I don't anymore. To me, it's not my favorite pizza anymore. It used to be. And if you don't know, my story is one of my blog posts in 2011 was about how I wanted to meet John from Papa John's Pizza.
okay.
And someone in 2013 found in his corporation found my blog post and arranged a phone call for him to talk to me.
Nice.
And never met him in person, but he did say to me when we were on the phone, he said, when we're up here, he says, reach out to my team, and yes, I'd love to meet you. You know what I mean? Keep me informed. And I know he's not with the company anymore.
Okay.
And that may be because, you know what I mean, the taste of it has just changed. I always thought Pizza Hut was very greasy. It was a greasier crust, a greasier, oily base to it. Never really was into Domino's pizza, but I've had it a lot because most of the places I've lived in America, Domino's was that fast food delivery type deal. My favorite pizzeria as a teenager, I worked for an injection molding factory, and I worked in the engineering department. And my favorite place to go to lunch was this small pizza place next to I forget what, I think it was an Acme store and a James Way store in that shopping center. And it was a family-owned pizza company, and I think that pizzeria is still there till this day. But it was one of their sons that ran that one, and he was the son that made the sauce. And I remember, I mean, like, and their pizza had very little sauce onto it, but boy, that sauce, like the beer we said, gave the punch. I mean, stuck out, right? To me, I've always been a New York thin crust type person.
Yes, I like
I'm not a Chicago thick crust person.
Nope, I don't like that thickness. That doughiness.
Yeah,
no,
not for me. A lot of people making your flatbreads and stuff, they get into it's like a combo between the doughy and the hard crust.
Yeah.
And it's tough for me trying to find a good one, but I always try them. I go to a bar that has, and they list them as flatbreads.
Yeah.
Not pizzas. And to me, some of those can be some of the most interesting tastes because sometimes they're in between. But to me, if I go into a small town and I see a whole town, Sal's, Frank's, George's, Lisa's, Gladys's, Tim's pizza joint, that's mostly likely is the one I want to go try.
Yeah.
Usually it's almost always something different. It's not, you know what I mean? Again, the three, they're just like your fast foods. It's consistent taste worldwide, no matter where you go with the three, but it's that hometown feel. Pizza always to me was a hometown feel. If I go and I don't have we have one here called Palios, which is a very interesting. The thing that Palios does that I don't like, I love their pizza. They have a great flavor, but I believe you cut your pizza into triangles, right? They cut the squares. They do the squares. It shouldn't affect the taste, but that does affect the taste to me. That's not how a pizza is supposed to be eaten.
That's because the middle doesn't have a crust, or at least not the edge crust that gives you that nice crispiness. Yeah. That when you get a triangle.
Remember a couple years ago, some of the people came out with this stuffed crust type idea. I'm like, nah. No. To me, it's that how that edge is. See, on this one here, it's an edge. It's not really a bent over crust that's looped up. But to me, I like that looped up. And it's almost like that's the part that was bread that puffed up. The rest of it kind of stayed flat. You know what I mean?
Here we have, I don't know how far it's gone, but we have Mod's Pizza. The thing about Mod's Pizza is that you pay for whatever size you get, small, medium, large, what have you. They put whatever toppings you want, no matter how high. So if you tell them put more meat, they will. If you say put more, they will pile that pizza as high as you want. Now, I don't think most people will pile it on too high, but they will get exactly what they want. And then they will salad the same thing. So you know exactly how much you're going to spend, and you know exactly that they'll put whatever you want on it, and then they'll bake it for you.
Wait a minute. That sounds like a concept I heard on a TV show called Seinfeld. Do you remember the episode where Kramer was like, yeah, we're going to do a make your own pie? And he come in and there's like, the guy's like, yeah, I like this idea. So he starts putting things on. And the guy goes, what are you doing? He goes, no, that's what I want on my pie. No, you don't put that on pizza. You're fired. Get out.
I'm going to have to look that one up because I don't remember it.
I don't remember the episode, but I remember him going, well, I want to do it this way. Well, that's not how you make pizza. But it is. You make pizza however you want.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
So I will tell you, my mama would rather drink a beer out of a bottle rather than a can. She did not like drinking out of a can. Would say no.
Yeah, I'm not a can drinker. I will take a can and I will bottle it.
Yeah,
or a glass. Put it on. Put it on.
Yep. So that was mom. So I went to visit mom, at the cemetery while I was down in California. And so my brother's the one that drank Heineken with her. I didn't. She drank whiskey and wine with me. She drank Heineken with my brother. So I went to get her some flowers. And then while I was at the store, I was like, oh, let me take some Heineken. Because usually I would have a whiskey with mom, or, usually whiskey's what I would take, sometimes a beer, but for the most part, whiskey. This time I thought beer. So I ended up making a little bit of a mess, dropping the bottles. It spilled over just ever so slightly. It was coming out, made a mess. And so cleaned it up and had my beer and then drove to my brother's. And so I'm telling my brother the story. And my brother says, this is non-alcoholic Heineken. And then he says, you do realize mom said, screw you. Why the hell would you do this? And that's why all of that happened to you, was my mom going, don't be giving me that stuff.
Don't you give me non-alcoholic stuff.
If you're going to give me a beer, you better give me a good beer. So I thought it was the funniest thing. So yeah, the Heineken ended up staying with my brother. So I did drink a Heineken while I was down in Southern California, non-alcoholic, so with mom. So that's my beer story. I did taste Corona non-alcoholic. It actually has good flavor.
They do. Remember, I think it was January of 23. We did the episode of non-alcoholic beers.
Yeah.
All right. And I think it was Heineken and Corona non-alcoholic that actually had the better taste.
And Corona tastes better than Heineken.
Of course. All right. Until I had Corona, I didn't believe that, because I remember my drink for the years was Heineken and Amstel Light, which is same company. And now it's Corona. And I almost always have, and I think I got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got the 6 bottles of Corona in there, but I also think I got a 6-pack of Yuengling cans in there as well.
Uh-huh.
Almost always have a couple flavors. I used to have a lot of Shiner stuff here. And I was going to go buy some more Shiner because we're in Texas. Shiner ales in Texas are just a thing.
Yeah.
But I noticed the one thing you put in the notes today that I wanted to bring up is there actually is a pizza and beer day.
No.
I mean, and I know last year we did we did the calendar last year more than we are doing it this year. And there's a reason why you find stuff like that and celebrate it. All right. It's something that goes together, which is the purpose of Like the Way You Drinks podcast is we find things that go together. Pizza and beer has just always been one of those things that go together. If I remember back to my teenage years of, we used to go to Pizza Hut and we'd get the pan pizza and the pitcher of beer. I mean, did you do that?
No. But I did go to Shakey's Pizza.
So, interesting.
Yeah. But as I got older, yes, we would go to a pizzeria. There was another one, Round Table.
Yeah.
At Round Table, we get the pizza and the pitcher of beer. Yes. But I was mid to late 20s versus my early 20s. But,
yep. So anyway.
I really like this Mediterranean pizza. And it goes very well with my Corona.
I have yet to have, and I mean, this is just a true thing. I've yet to have a bad pizza beer combination. I don't think I've ever had a bad pizza beer combination. It doesn't matter what your pizza is, doesn't matter what your beer is. I've never had it. And I like how you put it today's notes. You talk about how different beers go better with different things, which is part of why we have the podcast. But think about that.
If you like it, it's going to taste good.
Yeah.
I will say that the one time that I didn't really care for it. It was because it was just not the best pizza. It was very expensive, but the service was horrid. The pizza was bad. The beer was the only thing that was good, but you really can't screw up beer. Beer is beer. You know exactly what you're getting, and they ended up closing very quickly. So they were not around for more than maybe 6 months here in Wilsonville. But I was like going, wow, that's a pretty pricey pizza, but okay, let's try it out. And it was just, attitude in there and bad pizza. It's like, well, we're not coming back. So that was the one time. And it was not that I didn't care for pizza and beer. It was just, bad. I was already feeling, eh. So if you're going to a place that treats you well, or you get delicious pizza, you know what? No matter what beer you pair with it, you're going to love it. Megabyte is one. You can get what you want there. One we have here, Bellagio's, they don't have beer, but it's really good pizza. They'll even do pizza by the slice depending on the day. So if all you want is a slice versus a whole pizza, I love their crust. They're the ones that I go and I would buy pizza crust to make my own pizza. I do have my pizza wheel if you want, so that way it gets all crusty, because that's the thing is I like my crust to have that little bit of crispiness because I like it thinner. So, and some people don't want that. They want nice and soft. No, I don't want a soft, crust. I want a little bit of, crunchiness.
Crunch to it, yeah.
Yep. So that, and then of course I love pairing a Caesar salad or just a green salad with pizza. It makes me feel like I'm eating healthy.
Yeah. Well, to me, if you remember, I don't remember if Pizza Hut had it. I think they had a salad bar. The old sit-in Pizza Huts used to have a salad bar that went with them. And I know there was a lot when I was in the New England states, there was a lot of pizza places that did have a salad bar. Right. But I do remember some of the joints that we had around here actually had a side salad that you could get. And it was always like a small side.
Shakey's and Round Table. Round Table had the full-on bar. Shakey's, I think, depends on where you went, would have a bar. If not, you could get a side salad. But that always tastes good. Having a little bit of a crunch there makes you feel like you're eating healthy, even though, most pizzas aren't the healthiest. But this particular Open Nature one, half a pizza is 340 calories and a whole pizza is 690 calories. You still have, sodium is a little bit higher on the broccoli than it is on the cauliflower. 800 milligrams of sodium in this one, 45 milligrams of cholesterol, and 32 grams of total carbs. But it does have 17 grams of protein. So that's Open Nature. They have both the broccoli as well as the cauliflower, and they have the regular one, but I think I like the broccoli a little bit better than the cauliflower, and it could have been because it has a little bit more of a crunch to it for the same amount of time. I think the cauliflower, if I left it in a couple more minutes, I think it would have had that crunchiness that I like.
Cauliflower usually crisps really quick though, doesn't it? When you make a cauliflower crust?
Less than this one. The broccoli crust up more quickly. So I had left this one in for 11 minutes and it was all perfectly crusted. My cauliflower one at 11 minutes, it still had a softness to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
On the rack or on the plate?
On the pizza stone.
On the stone, yeah. I think that's where you put it on the rack. And I think the rack though, on the non-dough, like I did, I think you got to watch them on the rack. So in other words, put it on the rack for the first, so say it's a 20-minute cook, put it on the rack for the first 7 minutes and then slide it onto the stone and put the stone in the oven.
Oh, see, I left the stone in when it was preheating so that my stone was already warm when I put the pizza on it, because otherwise I think it'll take longer. I wanted my stone hot to begin with.
Well, that is one way to do it, but the point of doing the on the rack is that it's almost, you think about that, it's like an aerated heat. So there's something, you know what I mean? But whereas the stone would cause it to be the moistness in the center. Here's that heat's making the crispness underneath, and you do that for the first part. All right. If you do, I think the cauliflower crust is the one that will burn on you real quick. So you have to do it for half the time and then slide it onto the stone.
What did happen was that the first time I used my air fryer with with reheating my my cauliflower, it like quickly, I was like, I checked, I could smell it. I went, oh shoot. And sure enough, it was already a little bit overdone. I mean, it was still edible, but I'm like, oh, this could have used less time, most definitely. It's just
there's a key. Don't burn your pizza crust, because it really does affect the flavor. It always does.
Yeah. And that one was overcooked, but it wasn't burnt. It was just crispier. So I had a very crispy pizza, and I said, well, I like crispy, but this is a little much. It's okay. Did all right. But yeah, no, this was a fun one. I specifically got this pizza for this podcast. So it wasn't like I had it in the freezer, but I would eat this. It's not like it's out of the ordinary that I would get something like this.
Cool.
$5.
Really? I don't know how much. Gwen got this was shopping a couple weeks ago. I don't know how much we paid for this one. I'm sorry, I just don't. But
yeah, it was on sale. It's normally about $7 or $8, but I got it on sale for $5. I like the Screaming Sicilian. That's another one that's pretty good. Usually that one on sale runs for about 10. If it's not on sale, it's about 16. But sometimes it's like, you know what, if I'm going to be spending 16 to $20 on a pizza, I think I'd rather just have it freshly made, not frozen.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want, when they put those rise, the self-rising, no, don't want that. I want my thin crust. That's what I go for. I don't want the doughiness. I want the crispiness. And if I need to leave it in a little bit longer to get that, I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, find what you like, and then find the beer that you enjoy. If you're having a pizza during the winter, maybe you have, a stout or something richer. But maybe if it's in the summer, you have something lighter. The great thing about pizza and beer is that you can adjust it to your liking, and it's going to taste good no matter what time of year it is, no matter what beer, what pizza. If you enjoy it, it's going to taste good.
Do you think it might go with Guinness?
Well, it depends. Maybe if we try a very meaty pizza, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the chicken one, but I think that
I would think more of no. I would think if it was Guinness, I would want more of a beefiness.
Yeah. And one of those that has all the Omni stuff all on top that just tastes delicious, because you have your sausage and your bacon and your meat, your ground beef and the pepperoni and the bell peppers and the mushrooms. You got everything. If you can put it on a pizza, we're going to call it the Kramer pizza. If you can get the Kramer pizza, that will taste delicious with the Guinness.
You all are going to go look up that episode now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I will be watching that tonight. And I thought I had seen all of them, but there's so many. And there's a whole story with Seinfeld that it almost did not get released because it bombed as a pilot.
Yeah.
But it was like, no, somebody believed in it so much that they said, no, we gotta keep going. And it just became this something about nothing or show about nothing.
And I got to tell you, that's one that Gwen and I haven't gone back to watch. When we're out on the road, almost always one TV show we can find everywhere is a Friends episode. Friends kind of like plays everywhere. Right now we're watching How I Met Your Mother.
Ah, okay.
Which is I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's some food and drink in that too. We probably should go through some of that anyway.
Yeah, they were at the bar all the time. So
they're at the bar all the time on that one. Yeah.
That one was a hit and miss. There's like sometimes like just nope, I had to change it. It's like I'm done. And other times I could watch the whole episode. So that's one that it was not my favorite show to watch really. Friends, I don't think I watched all the episodes, but Seinfeld, when I got into Seinfeld, it was like kind of after the fact where it had already been syndicated and I was watching reruns and I was like going, ooh, I like this. And then I got into the Seinfeld craze and it was after the fact, but I didn't realize how much people really loved Seinfeld. But I do remember using the reruns, I was able to catch up. So that way when the finale came around, I was caught up, and saw the finale when it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we end our podcast today, all right, there is one thing that we're going to actually tell everybody about. And I actually spent a past hour trying to get this working because our website was down for about 3 days and I had issues with it. And I basically just went back to an older system we had to make it work because it was not. Anyway, but the Like the Way You Drink, you go to likethewaytodrink.com. We have an insiders club where you can join and help us choose future episodes, choose future menu items, choose things like that. And working on a survey to go with that so that you guys can actually, you will get a survey on a monthly basis of things you'd like. Anyway, go to likethewaytodrink.com. Must be 21 to join. All right. Because we can't drink with you if you're not 21.
Nope. Sorry. No,
anyway. Other than that, all right. So my networking thing this morning, I know you've been gone. We've been gone for 2 weeks, but my networking thing this morning was we're moving to a new location next week. So we go visit the new location and have a drink. The first thing I walk in and go, hey, what do you want? I said, Buffalo Trace. And they're like, oh, what? Okay. We usually don't have somebody ask for that at 11 in the morning. I'm like, well, when we have our meeting here every week, that's the first thing I'm going to ask you for after our meeting's done. Okay, yeah. But I mean, it's interesting because last week I know because you were out, so we kind of decided to put the show on hold. We went to a new restaurant. We have a new Italian restaurant here in town that opened last Monday. Oh, and we were able to go to it's an Italian restaurant. Had great. We went with our close friends from the coffee shop and my mother, and we all just went out to dinner on what would have been normally our spot. We were sitting in the restaurant.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I took my brother took me to Topa Topa. It's a brewery down in Ventura. And I tried one of their nitro beers, which was delicious. And if I had known, I would have bought some ice cream on the way there and had a bowl of ice cream with the nitro beer on top, which would have been absolutely delicious. Yeah. And you can't, they can't can it because of the nitrogen. You can only get it. I mean, they could bottle it, but it just doesn't taste the same. So I took my brother there, and there was some other beers too that we got to taste. So that was a lot of fun. Did a little clip that I uploaded because it's just, when you travel, you got to try something new. So Topa Topa, thank you so much for taking care of my brother and me last Monday. That was a lot of fun and a lot of good brews. So if you're ever in Ventura,
more about these places we go visit, make sure you like our Facebook page because we post it all the time over there.
Yeah. And the thing is, this place, unless you know it's there, you don't know it's there because it's in this industrial area. Mm-hmm. And we're going down industrial. And I'm like, where the heck are we going? All of a sudden he turns in and they have this, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And they have music, they have pizza. They will sometimes have taco trucks there, so they do all the things, but they're in an industrial area. And unless you're a local, you don't know about it. And of course, my brother's a local, so he knew about it and got to take me there.
Cool. So. Cool. And one more thing before we go is our businesses pay for this podcast every week. So are you still in business?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still in business. Yeah,
okay. Just double checking. Yeah, that's.
It's funny. It's like people will say, "Oh, wait a minute, you guys. Yeah, well, what do you? I love that. What do you guys do? You just drink on a podcast?" No, actually, we have two businesses.
Yes, one of my friends came to visit my office one day, and after a little bit, I'm like, "I go, I love you. I haven't seen you in a bit, but what time are you leaving? I got work to do." She goes, "Oh, you work?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I work. I don't just sit around and do nothing. I seriously I take care of clients." She's like, "Oh, okay, I'll let you go." I'm like, "Thank you." And I felt already because I was getting a little antsy because I'm like, I got work to do and I want to spend time with her, but not during work hours. So it's just kind of funny how people don't understand that when you have a business, you actually work.
You have to work.
imagine that.
So we're going to start off with giving a shout out to our businesses. All right, both that and the websites, so you can find out more about us. Gladys, you go ahead and tell us about your business first.
All right. Well, Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping employers become employers of choice through providing employee benefits, because employers are struggling to find good staff. They're competing against bigger businesses. And guess what? Sometimes all employees need is knowing how much you care about them. And by showing them how much you care, they will stick around. You will attract them, which means that as you're doing this, your business will continue to grow. So go to insurancedesignpros.com to check out my services, Oregon, Washington, California. Although if you're at any other state, I will help find you somebody. And if you're ready to start the conversation, go to enrollnoworegon.com. And that is my calendar link. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my co-host.
Hey guys, my name is Tim Gillette, and I run a company called Simple Easy Websites. So, I had someone reach out to me just this past weekend and say, hey, Tim, I want you to create just a single page for me, but I got a hosting thing. I got all that stuff for me. How much to do it? To which I said, well, if that's the route you want to go, it's going to cost you 3 times as much. And they're like, why? It's because our business wasn't designed to just make websites. We have a mission. We want to design websites. We want to keep them running for you without you having to maintain them. So in other words, you never have to worry about your website. We got it. You go do what you do. We do what we do. That's our thing. So we build websites that we host. And that is our business model. The reason being is I hated seeing people's websites go down. So I make sure when you work with me, your website never goes down. That's why we do it the way we do it. So simpleeasywebsites.com. You can book a consultation, a review of your website, give you a plan on what you can do over the next year to make it better, make more money with it, generate more leads. Because if it ain't doing those things, ladies and gentlemen, it's not doing its job. 3 clicks or less for online success. That's Simple Easy Websites. Other than that, what else we got? Anything?
Thanks to the Hefas for my.
You got that lip gloss, don't you? Are they buying? Are they willing to give us lip gloss yet?
I don't know if they'll send it to you. I will ask them. Maybe I
don't want to send it to me. I want to send it to you. I'm trying to get something like an eyeglass place that I can get glasses that people don't have glasses on or something.
Right? No kidding. Yeah, we both wear glasses. I think we need to get sponsored by Warby Parker. Should be sponsoring us.
Warby Parker should sponsor us. They should. So maybe you know what? Maybe a print company with aprons for us.
Oh yes. I have no issues
saying that we.
I didn't wear it today, but I do wear my apron. I really do. When I'm at home, I will wear my apron because a lot of times if I'm cooking something here, it's because I'm gonna make a mess. Versus just eating. Eating is different, but when I'm cooking, I do make a mess. Today was pretty easy because it was pizza and salad, so I didn't worry about it. But if you all notice, when I am here, I do have an apron on.
We're going to have to come up with a way to drink aprons.
I think so.
Anyway, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up episode 113. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like us on YouTube, Facebook. All right, because those are the places that we broadcast to on a regular basis. We are up on Spotify, Apple, and where you can get your audio podcast. The episodes there will be dropping soon now that we've got everything keyed in with a Spotify again. And we have an Insiders Club again, so go join that, become part of the Insiders Club, and get to know us on a regular basis. Tim Gillette, Gladys Boutwell, we are out. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.